Hoi! So, for a while now, I've been working in the art software Procreate. The first 3 drawings I did on there were of Fakemon. If you are unaware of the term, Fakemon is a combination of the word fake and Pokemon, hence the term Fakemon. These 3 Fakemon that I made were a water, fire, and grass-type starter for a region that I never finished making. So I thought, hey, why not redesign these guys? They're kind of old now. Well, old compared to my current art style. In this video, I'm going to be redesigning the water type starter for my Fakemon region, which is based on a Nautilus. So relax and enjoy the speed arts. So the idea behind this guy was he was a little parasitic gremlin guy that would come and steal pottery and use that as a shell, and that would be the Nautilus part. But he would have a big nose and eyes and the tentacles, but the only things that isn't natural to his body is the shell. Do know that he's actually not a gremlin though, he's just like a land squid kind of thing. As you can see in the top of the speed art and in the speed art itself, the arms/tentacles of this guy are based on those weird foam water guns that use pressure to shoot water out. I just thought that would be a cool idea to add. The part that I had the most trouble with on this rendition of the design and the next rendition of the design is the tentacles. Mostly the perspective of the tentacles, like the back part, like you see I'm drawing there. And I even tried to add a ring there, but perspective wasn't really my thing back then, as you can see by the tentacles. Midway through line art, I tried to add paintings of Gyarados and Magikarp onto the pottery head, because usually pottery has paintings of stuff on them. So I thought Gyarados and Magikarp would be a perfect fit since he's a water type. For the coloring, I just sourced colors from actual, official water type Pokemon other than the arms. The arms, I used the reference image of the foam water guns to color grab from, and I colored in the arms with those. If you watch, really closely, you can see that I had a lot of trouble with coloring back then, especially with, the little dots that would pop up when I put my hand on the screen when I also put my stylus there. That happened a lot during this, and it was very frustrating. Now this was the first drawing I tried full rendering on, which I didn't do with the second redesign, but I plan on doing it in the future to it. But I do honestly really like how the rendering came out on this one. And here's the final product of the original design. I didn't come up with a name for him at this point, but the new redesign certainly does have a name, and I feel like you'll like it. So now we get to the redesign, which I honestly had a lot of fun making. It took a decent amount of time, especially the nose. As you can see, I did multiple attempts of that. It was very difficult until I moved the eye, which is going to happen soon. During the latter half of redesigning this guy, I was on a call with one of my friends, and he recommended giving him the name Nautipod, which is the combination of the name Nautilus and quadruped, since in this redesign I took away most of his limbs and left him with 4. I honestly really liked that name, and it did stick for a bit, but I eventually changed it to something a little better. If you look at the original design, you can see that he had a mustache-looking thing, and I tried to give that to this one, but I didn't think it looked very good and it really crowded the design, so I took it out. Lately, I've started getting really specific with the reference images I need for my art, so I took inspiration from the closest Pokemon that there is to this little guy, which is Octillery. Now, the coloring. I took my favorite color of the original shell and used that as a gradient for it on the way down for this one. And I changed the nose and eyelids from purple to orange, since orange is the complementary color of blue. I also added textures to him. His nose and head have a clay texture, and his limbs have a foam texture, which I used a static brush for. And I took a more easy way to do the paintings on the pottery this time than just filling in a sketch. And here's the finished redesign. As I said earlier, I changed his name a bit, not too much. On my way home from being picked up by my mom from school, she recommended the name Nautipot, a combination of Nautilus, Knot, and Pot. So that gave me a little idea for a personality trait that this Pokemon could have. It could be a little trickster that hides in pots and surprises people. Now, Nautipot has a secondary form. As you've probably noticed, I took away the arms from this design, but I didn't entirely take them away, because he can retract his arms into the pot on his head. I made his arms much smaller so they didn't clutter up the design too much. Tell me which version of Nautipot is your favorite in the comments below. That's all for this video, so I'll see you guys next week. Yeah, bye.